You're listening to a special episode of the Everything Life Coaching podcast, Coaching Mastery with Noelle Cordeau, CEO of Lumia. Explore transformative coaching concepts, tried and true methodologies, and powerful insights from the front lines of the professional coaching field. Whether you're an established coach seeking fresh perspectives or looking to begin your coach training education, welcome to your one-stop resource for all things life coaching. This is Coaching Mastery.
Hey everyone, Noelle here. Welcome to Everything Life Coaching. Today, we are going to continue on with our core competency series, and we're going to get into trust and safety with our clients. This is one of the most important competencies that the ICF has for us, and I'd like to take a second to unpack why this is central to the coaching process. So if you pause for a minute and think about yourself, what, if anything, leads you to trust a complete stranger? What would that stranger have to express, and what would you have to experience in order to feel at ease in opening up, sharing your deepest thoughts, sharing your secrets, or even sharing your sources of shame? As a coach, establishing this underlying layer of trust with our clients and the feeling that people can really open up and share with us is the foundation for open, unguarded communication. And it's the path forward for continuous growth for our clients. And that is the reason why cultivating trust and safety is one of the most important ICF competencies. So, the definition of what we're talking about here is partnering with the client to create a safe and supportive environment that allows the client to share freely, and the coach maintains a relationship of mutual respect and trust with the client. From here, the competency is broken out into 6 subcategories, which we're going to hit today. So first, we're looking at some work that the coach has to do. And the competency directly states that the coach seeks to understand the client within their context. Understand the client within their context, which may include their identity, their environment, their experiences, their values, and their beliefs. As we sit with this competency, it's really important for coaches to be able to understand the concept of intersectionality. Intersectionality represents the fact that all of us sit differently on a continuum that represents our own personal relationship to different facets of privilege, power, and oppression. Privilege comes from being part of a dominant or more hierarchically valued group within society. Power comes from that positionality as well. So, for example, whiteness is valued more than different levels of melanin pretty much globally. That's white supremacy. Someone who is neurodiverse or who is differently abled will have a different level of access to spaces from a physical, mental, and sensory perspective. And these spaces could be learning, living, or working environments. And someone who identifies as female, queer, trans, or as gay may experience different levels of safety in spaces as well. And again, these could be home spaces, learning spaces, working spaces, or just being out in public. Now, all of these different kinds of experiences blend together for each and every person to create a complex and multifaceted sense of identity. And very often, the experiences that we have related to those blended factors of identity have a major impact on goal accomplishment. So I can use myself as an example here. I identify as female, and as a woman, I have been socialized in a world that prioritizes thinness. As a child, as a teenager, and as a young adult, I lived with eating disorders. And this experience caused me to prioritize my physical appearance over my intellectual and professional development. And I have worked with coaches who have done the work of getting to know me well enough to understand that this prioritization of thinness over my professional life and my intellectual life was actually getting in the way for me of goal accomplishment. I vividly remember having a coach who shined a flashlight on this and really held the mirror up for me and pushed the conversation forward about asking me to examine how this was getting in the way for me. I was 29 years old when this conversation took place, and it completely changed my life because this coach took the time to really deeply understand me as a human in the context of my complex identity, of my environment, of my beliefs and my values, and was able to help me see some of the systemic barriers that were getting in the way of my development as a whole person. Now, as a client, I had to decide what to do with that vision. And I chose to overcome it and to form a different relationship with what worth means to me as a human being. And I'm so glad that I did. And I'm so grateful to the coach who held that mirror for me. This is deep stuff, as you can tell. Next, we have number 2, which is demonstrating respect for the client's identity, perceptions, style, language, and adapts to the client. So, this competency requires us to really hang our own sense of rightness up at the door and to truly believe people when they tell us their truth, even if it's a truth that we don't hold for ourselves, or even if it's information that we've never heard before. A great example of this is cilantro. I didn't learn until a couple of years ago that for some people, cilantro tastes like soap. This issue is apparently genetic. These people who cilantro tastes like soap or have a genetic variation in a group of what's called olfactory receptor genes. And it causes some folks to be able to really strongly taste the soapy flavored aspects in all cilantro leaves. Not everyone can strongly taste them, but some can. Now, if like me, you didn't know that this was a thing, and your client told you that they were having a relationship issue with the level of cilantro that their partner or their partner's family uses in food, you might be inclined as a coach to write off the client's perception of their own experience. So, as coaches, we need to be really vigilant when we have that impulse to write off somebody's direct reporting of their own experience. And this has more to do with our own set of feelings than it has to do with our clients. So, this competency is less about what our clients are telling us and more about our relationship with ourselves as coaches as we build the muscle of deep listening, deep curiosity, and trusting that our clients are telling us their truth. Another aspect of this particular subcategory is language. And as coaches, we want to make sure that our clients' way of expressing is really centered in the coaching conversation. If we don't know what a figure of speech means or a word, we should ask. And to the best of our ability, we should try to practice mirroring the client's language. This could be as simple as picking up on pet names that our clients have for very important people in their lives. Or it could be a little bit more complicated in needing to ask your clients questions, not only behind what certain words mean, but what those words mean to them if they're used in consistent expression. A great example here is the word "riz." Now, up until a couple months ago, I had absolutely no idea that this word was a thing. A friend's kid asked if he was rizzing, right? And I wanted to know what that meant. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it's a verb and it means to charm or seduce someone. And in conversation, it can be used as rizzed, rizzing, or rizzes. I find this delightful. And if, like me, you had no earthly idea that this word was a word or what it means, if your client was using it consistently, as a coach, it's on you to not only ask what this word means, but also ask what that term means to your client, because your client's relationship to the idea of charming or seducing someone is really important. And so taking a deep dive, not only into the actual meaning of the language, but the meaning of the language for your client is an essential part of this subcompetency as well. Number three, as we're moving along, is acknowledging and respecting the client's unique talents, insights, and work in the coaching process. As coaches, we don't want to be working in place of our clients, and we don't want to be working harder than our clients to do the work in a coaching session. Coaching is a co equal partnership. And therefore, we need to not only acknowledge and respect, but to actually expect that our clients have skin in the game and that our clients also have talent and insight to bring to the table in the coaching process. And we want to look for it and we want to honor it. And that sits right alongside of our own commitment and our own talents and our own insights. Number four in this competency is an expectation that a coach show support, empathy, and concern for the client. This is pretty straightforward. The coach client relationship is built on intimacy, healthy communication practices, and genuine care. So, implicit in this standard that represents our profession is mutually held empathy, support, and concern between coach and client. Now, as a coach, if you're not able to feel these things for your client, from an ethical standpoint, you should refer out to another practitioner who is then a better fit for the client so that client does have the opportunity to have care afforded to them. As we're closing out this competency, I'm going to bundle subcompetency 5 and 6 together. There acknowledges and supports the client's expression of feelings, perceptions, concerns, beliefs, and suggestions, and also demonstrating openness and transparency as a way to display vulnerability and build trust with the client. Both of these have to do with the depth and the quality of the coaching relationship itself and what is required to build depth and quality into a relationship. Now, if we really zoom out and think about what it takes to build depth and quality into any relationship, it's understanding another person through deep an ongoing dialogue. Think about when you start a new friendship or a new romantic relationship and you fall in love. You want to learn everything about that person. You want to know where they've been. You want to know where they're going. You want to know their hopes, their dreams, their sorrows. And it's the same deal in a coaching relationship. Until you take the time to really learn about your clients, you won't be able to facilitate their movement to a different place. You have to know their story. And so exploring the good, the bad, and the ugly in the story of your clients' lives will be able to help you and will be able to help your clients begin to identify the patterns and the beliefs that have interfered with their success and might be getting in the way right now. And this is where transformational coaching truly takes place. It's being able to look at the client's story and pick out the patterns, the cognitive distortions, the systemic pieces that are getting in the way, and holding up that mirror and shining a flashlight on the dark spaces so that coach and client can really empathetically come together to move beyond what is to a different position in life, defined by goal accomplishment, defined by where the client wants to go. You will prove your trustworthiness as a coach when you dig deep with clients by caring to ask and demonstrate true curiosity about their goals, their regrets, their struggles, their past experiences. And then when they share, handling those shares with care. When clients feel comfortable exposing themselves, exposing their underbelly in an unguarded way, this is when your coaching will be the most impactful. Thank you so much for joining me today on a deep dive into cultivating trust and safety with your clients. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to Everything Life Coaching. If you're feeling the draw to become a coach, head to lumiacoaching.com/everything. Explore a new career that brings fulfillment, gives you a true sense of purpose, and a bold community to do it with.
Lumia is ready to equip you with the tools, training, and community you will need to reach your goals. If you're ready to build a unique coaching business on your own terms while making an impact on the world at large, Lumia is the next bold step in your coaching journey. That's lumiacoaching.com/everything.
And hey, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it.